Hello, everybody. It's time for another viewer puzzle. Many thanks to the YouTube account Mythbuster for sending me this. It's checkmate in 12 moves for white. Only that is just amazing. But it's not only checkmate in 12 moves, it's actually about winning for white. Because we only have one move to start with that will win. Everything else will be a draw. So don't just look for the checkmate, just look for the winning variation as well. All right, so pause the video now, see if you can analyze this position and see how white wins this. And when you come back, we go through it together. Okay, go ahead. So we're back. All right, let's start with the winning move for white. The starting move is bishop h2. Just to show that. Okay, everything else. If we move this bishop in this diagonal, it doesn't really help us because we want to go to e5. So something like this. Black can play knight e6 and threaten to check here and of course get this pawn, and then it's definitely a draw. Only move to put some pressure here is bishop c5. Now this will not work because of bishop d6 and we will threaten checkmate. But black can actually play knight f5 instead, covering these squares for the bishop, and this knight is also covering these squares, so cannot really come to this diagonal in any way. Oh, like this. That's better arrow. All right, and of course we cannot take because we lose our pawn. So that will be a draw in the end. And just moving our king here doesn't work because then we have a perpetual check with this knight. Like this. White cannot leave the pawn, so it will just be a check by repetition. All right, so bishop h2, and we are of course looking to go to this square, and black cannot really stop it actually. So he has to play something else, and he will play bishop d4 or knight d4 or knight to e3. Doesn't matter, but I think d4 is a little bit better because now he can then choose to go to e6 or f5 with his knight. Let's say we go to f5 because then we are covering this square also. And it's also threatening the check here on e7, which will be the same as I showed before, like a perpetual check. So, and also threatening this check here. So white has to stop that, and it's only one move again. Has to play bishop f6 to cover these two checks and keeping the pressure on this knight here. All right. Yes, we cover there, but black actually needs to take the check anyway because he cannot move the king, he cannot move this knight, and if he moves his knight anywhere else than taking a check, we will just checkmate. So black moves his knight and give a check. And of course we take it. And now you see it's starting to look good for white, but it's still another 8 moves before we can checkmate this. Because black will move his knight to h5. We cannot take it because we will lose our pawn. So we need to do some tempo moves. And that's a good thing because we have the bishop, and the bishop can always make a tempo move while a knight cannot. So that's the key to win this. So we'll do a tempo move. Let's play bishop g5. He keeps on checking. We go to h6. We have to protect this pawn. Can go back to h5. We cannot take it, and he's still covering here. So we need to do another tempo move here. 6 more moves to win. Like this. Okay. And black is really doing everything he can, so he plays his his knight back on g7, and now we cannot go here because that's another stalemate. So we move the king. It goes back to h5. Look at this. It looks like we're not getting anywhere, but we're actually getting one step closer for every tempo move we do. So now we play bishop e7, and if it goes back here, then we can play, just move the bishop away, and we will have a check here. So he tries the check instead on f4. And then we have to go back to h6 again, and he tries the this again, knight h5, and it really looks like we're not going anywhere, but we are, I promise you, because now it's only 2 moves left for a checkmate. Can you see how? Yes, we now play bishop f8, and we had to move around to play this at the right moment, because now he cannot go back because we take it with checkmate, or if we move somewhere else, doesn't really matter where he moves. We're gonna play bishop g7 checkmate anyway. So that's just amazing. 12 moves with all these tempo moves you have to do. Black is doing everything he can with his knight, trying to give checks or put ourselves in a stalemate trap. But finally, we made it, and white wins. Thank you again, Mythbuster, for this study or puzzle. What do you call it? It's amazing. Very, very good. Very nice, composed. If you, as a viewer, have something you want to send to me, check out the video description. I will give you the email address to me, and you can send it through there. All right. Have a great day. Thank you, everybody.